All right, welcome back, everybody. We're live right now in the Mark Gooch trial. They just were on a break, but they are back. A new witness is on the stand. Remember, he is accused of murdering 27-year-old Sasha Kraus, a Mennonite Sunday school teacher, and it appears that another member of the Mennonite religion and the Mennonite community in that area is on the stand. Let's go live, and we'll learn more.
What do you do there?
I work at the assisted living.
And what is that for? What do you do there?
We care for the elderly
All right. How long have you been doing that?
for 9 years.
And so you've lived in that community for 9 years then?
That's right.
All right. And while you were living there, did you know Sasha Kraus?
Yes,
All right. And how long did you know her?
for maybe up to close to a year.
Close to a year? All right. Were you friends with Sasha?
Yes,
All right. Now that community, we've heard a little bit about that from Lily and Lucinda, who lived there as well. How many folks are there in that Mennonite community?
I wouldn't really know.
More than 100? Less than 100?
I'd say it's less than 100.
Okay. And the main, I guess, structures in that area would be the Gingrich home, right?
And the Lamp and Light.
And the Lamp and Light is the publishing house, right? Those two. And then, of course, you have the church, right?
Yes,
Okay. Let me ask you about the day of January 18th, 2020. Is that a day you recall?
yes.
Okay. What were you doing that day?
I was working at the Gingrich home.
All right. So you were at your work, and when would you end work on that Saturday?
That day I got off I'd say I left the building maybe 7:30 or 8, somewhere in there.
Okay. Was that common that you would finish work at around that time?
It just depends.
So it would fluctuate?
Yes,
But that day you recall 7:30 or 8, you're leaving the building, the Gingrich home?
yes.
Okay. And then do you recall what the weather was like that night?
I just know it was a dark, clear night.
Right. Was it cold?
I don't recall.
Do you remember wearing a coat or a jacket?
No, I don't remember.
All right. Is that area, at least back then, was it pretty dark?
Yes,
In other words, there weren't a whole lot of exterior lighting on roadways. Is that fair?
no, there wasn't much.
Okay. So when you're walking, and were you walking back home from work? You weren't driving.
No, I was walking.
You were walking. Okay. And when you were walking, which route would you take? How would you get home?
Well, I often went up by the church.
All right. So you'd pass a church building on your way home?
Yes,
Did you live by yourself?
I'm sorry, I can't even remember.
You can't remember back then? Okay. Do you live by yourself now?
No,
All right. And do you live in the same place you lived before?
yes,
And where is that located in relationship to the church?
it'd be like 2 trailers behind
Okay.
towards the hill.
Up by the hill. So there's a hill that says Lamp and Light on it, right?
Yes,
Is it up closer to that hillside?
yeah,
All right.
yes.
So you're walking home. Tell the jury what you recall seeing as you got close to the church.
Well, I saw a vehicle sitting down below by the church, by the school doors.
Okay. And what was that vehicle? What did it look like?
It was I couldn't see much. It was a darker vehicle.
All right. Do you know whose car that was?
I mean, like now? No, I don't. I didn't know whose it was.
Didn't know who it was.
No.
Okay. Was it a truck or a van or a passenger car? What can you tell us?
It was more like a van type, probably.
All right. Did you see anybody there?
I don't recall seeing anybody.
All right. But you didn't recognize the car at the time
No, I did not.
as belonging to anybody in the community?
No.
Did you know Samuel Kuhn back then?
Yes.
And was he a member of that community?
Yes.
All right. Do you know what car he was driving that time back in 2020?
I don't keep track of his vehicles.
All right, that's fair. Is it fair to say that you don't pay attention to vehicles generally?
Yes, that's very fair.
All right. So that day you see this car, not sure who it is. Did you see, and you mentioned you didn't see anybody walking around, is that right? Down in that basement area?
I don't recall seeing
right.
anyone.
Do you recall seeing any lights on in the church at that point?
No.
Okay. So you're walking past the church and then it kind of goes up a hill, is that right?
Yes.
And then there's an upper parking lot area, which would be the main floor of the church. Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay. Did you see any cars up there?
I saw a car that I later recognized as Sasha's there.
Okay. Did you see anyone in the car or around the car?
No.
Did you see any lights in the church on that upper floor?
No.
Did you have any plan of going inside the church to see if Sasha was there?
I did. Yeah.
Did you go inside?
No.
Why not?
Because I saw it was so dark and I just decided to not go in.
Okay.
I figured she's not there.
Right. Do you know what time exactly you were at the church when you're passing by?
It was probably close to 8.
All right, around 8 p.m.
Yes.
All right, so you didn't see anybody in Sasha's car, nobody around it. You didn't see any lights on in the church, right?
No.
Okay. And then where did you go from there?
Then I went on home.
Okay. Let me show you a couple exhibits that have been admitted. We'll project them on the screen here. I'll ask you some questions, okay? All right, let's start with exhibit 133. Can you see that, Esther?
Yes.
All right. What are we looking at?
The church.
All right, and this will be the lower level, right, of the church, the basement area?
Yes.
So you could park a car in these areas here and enter the church through that door, is that right?
You could.
Now you mentioned a vehicle that you saw in this lower area. Where was that parked?
It was about right where you made your little arrow go.
All right, we're kind of right in front of the door area?
Yeah, right down just a little bit.
Here? You,
I meant towards the door.
it might be easier. There's a laser pointer up there. You see it? There's a red button. It looks like a pen. May I approach, Judge?
May.
Unless somebody took it.
All this.
Yep. So you can push that button there. Okay. Can you point out where that car was located?
Like,
Kind of hitting the wall there.
about right there.
Okay. All right. Just in that gravel area. And then let me show you exhibit 123. Can you see that?
Yes.
What are we looking at?
It's 3 vehicles.
Okay. Do you know what vehicle this is in the middle?
I don't remember.
You remember what kind of car Sasha had?
Well, I thought it looked sort of like it, but I wasn't sure if it was hers, so.
It's okay. I'm not going to have you guess. But did Sasha's car look like this, kind of a silver passenger car?
Yeah.
Do you know whose cars these are? There's a white van and another dark vehicle here.
It looks like people from church, but I don't know.
Okay. Again, you're not the vehicle expert.
I am not.
So this is in the upper level of that church, right? Towards the entrance?
Yes.
Is this about where you recall Sasha's car being parked when you were walking past?
Yes.
Let me show you one more. This is exhibit 83. Can you see that?
Yes.
So this has been described as kind of an aerial view of the lamp and light area. Is that what that looks like to you?
Yes.
Let me zoom in a little bit here. You can see the church labeled here. Is that what that building is?
Yes.
Okay. And the Gingrich home would be down here. Is that right? This brown roof?
Yes.
Can you, with your laser pointer, show us the route you took from the Gingrich home past the church?
If I can keep it straight in my mind, how it goes.
Okay.
I left, went down the parking lot.
And if you need it's kind of hitting that wall. If you need to stand up,
Yeah, I'm sorry.
it's okay. You're just going to have to speak real loud.
It went down the parking lot, the pavement there, and then went on up. Like that.
Okay, thank you. So just so we can get it on the record here, you went out the parking lot, kind of the entrance of the parking lot, and up the road, kind of the main dirt road in town. Is that fair?
Yes.
And past the church, and that's when you saw the vehicle down below, and then Sasha's car up above.
Yes.
All right. Can you see your trailer in this, your house in this image here in 83?
It would, yeah, I can see it.
Can I help you out? Is it this
We're going
one?
to break out this testimony of Esther
Maybe
Schrey,
that
a
next
friend of the victim, talking about what appears to be maybe seeing the defendant's car, which would be really incredible, a really important piece of evidence for the prosecution. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll jump live in court. Stay with us.
I'm Dan Abrams, and you're watching Law and Crime.
From the makers of top-selling Super Beets comes new Super Beets Heart Chews, a superfood breakthrough that's bursting with flavor and unique polyphenols that help support healthy blood pressure and circulation so your body can produce more heart-healthy energy.
The chews are so great. Super Beets gets me going. It gets my circulation flowing, and I have that energy all through the day. It's just fantastic. I love it.
When I researched Super Beets, I was impressed by all the science behind the Super Beets chews. It's amazing that something so simple can be this great for my heart.
What makes Super Beets polyphenols so different from other antioxidants? In a leading clinical study, Super Beets polyphenol compound was shown nearly 2 times as effective at promoting normal blood pressure as a healthy lifestyle alone.
In my 31 years of helping people maintain healthy blood pressure, I've never seen a polyphenol compound this effective. Super Beets antioxidants help support healthy blood pressure and help your body produce more energy.
I never knew how my blood pressure and my blood flow were so connected to my energy level, and now I know. I'm playing tennis longer. I don't get tired after one set. I can totally feel the difference.
Call now and find out how you can get a free 30-day supply of Super Beets Heart Chews plus a free bonus pack of delicious vitamin D3 chews for immune health support. Act now, and we'll even include free shipping and free returns, all backed by our 90-day money-back guarantee. That's over $30 in total free gifts. So try Super Beets Chews today.
I love the chews because they're delicious and they're so convenient.
I absolutely love what they do for my energy. My blood pressure is healthy, and my energy level has been phenomenal.
So do something good for your blood pressure and your energy. Love your results or your money back.
Call 1-800-653-3280 or visit superbeetschews.com. That's 1-800-653-3280. Call today.
Uh-oh, there you go. Slow slicing fruits, veggies, and those stingy onions that bring you to tears. But not anymore. Introducing NutriChopper, the compact handheld speed slicer that cuts up to 10 times quicker than a knife. Watch. You can have 1 slice or 10 perfect slices at once. Amazing! You can just julienne, or you can bundle slice julienne sticks at lightning speed. With NutriChopper, you can slice the entire onion or mince a mound of onions and never have time for tears. Why slice a single apple wedge when you can wedge it all in one snap? NutriChopper comes with the razor-sharp interchangeable stainless steel blades you need to make all of the cuts you want, and all incredibly quick. Chop thick slices, chop thin slices, chop cubes, chop sticks, and wedge whole fruits and vegetables in just 1 second. Slice it and cook it right in the pan, right on your stove. Chop and slice right into the pot for a family-sized stew with no mess. Snap and slice a fruit salad for the kids right into the bowl in seconds. Slice up a healthy salad for a quick and easy meal on the go. Cube meats and cheeses quick, in a snap. And NutriChopper comes with a perfect portion container and fresh keeping lid so you can slice it, seal it, and store it all in one. To clean, simply rinse or rack it in the dishwasher. Then lock it to store it safely in a drawer. And now the NutriChopper with the thin slice, thick slice, wedge, and cube blades, and the slice and store container and lid, a value of over $40, is yours for just $19.95 with free shipping. But wait, order now and we'll send you a second set. Just pay a separate fee. And the shipping is free. You get 2 complete NutriChopper sets, all for one low value price with free shipping. Here's how to order.
To order, call 1-800-340-9384 or go online at NutriChopper.com. That's 1-800-340-9384 or go to NutriChopper.com. Order now.
All right, welcome back, everybody. On the stand right now in Arizona in the Mark Gooch trial is Esther Stray, a friend of the victim, talking about, this is the real big important part, noticing a suspicious vehicle. And you can hear the prosecution trying to establish that that is probably the defendant's vehicle when he went to this area, this community, this church. Now, the defense is trying to strike back on that, really trying to say, did you really see a car? What exactly did you see? Let's go back live.
Enforcement people came and talked to you about what you saw. Is that right?
Yes.
Right. And one of the things they talked to you about was the vehicle, correct?
I don't recall, but I think they did.
Have you ever seen a transcript, a word-for-word transcript of your interview with law enforcement?
Yes.
Did counsel give that to you and have you review it before you appeared today?
Yes.
And did you have a chance to review it?
Yes.
And did your review of that transcript refresh your recollection as to what you told law enforcement about what you saw that night?
I did some.
So what do you remember about what you told law enforcement that you haven't told us today?
I don't know.
Let's talk about color for a minute. Remember talking to law enforcement, not about, as you told us, a dark car, but a different color. What about that?
You mean at the church?
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing more at the church than that darker vehicle and Sasha's car.
You remember talking to church about seeing a white-colored car?
I had seen a white truck, but that wasn't at the church.
All right. I'm going to give you a transcript from, well, let me say this. Is it your statement today that you never told the law enforcement that you saw a white-colored vehicle parked at the church?
I don't recall telling them that.
Is it your testimony that what you saw was some white-colored truck at a different time at a different location, has nothing to do with what we're talking about right now?
What was that again?
Well, so when did you see a white truck?
It was before I ever left the Gingrich home that I saw a white truck.
So maybe we approach it this way. Did you see 3 vehicles that night that were different to you?
Yes.
Right. So we've established the one vehicle that you recognize to be Sasha's, correct?
Yes.
Now, let's clear up these other 2 vehicles we're now talking to. So a second vehicle you saw parked at the church around 8 o'clock. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you saw that as you walked home from your work over at the Gingrich house.
Yes.
Right. And that vehicle, was that vehicle white in color?
At the church?
Yeah.
I just remembered it being dark.
Now, do you recall whether you saw or told, well, let me break it down this way. Do you recall seeing anybody near or next to or in any way associated with that vehicle?
I don't recall.
So is that the best you can recall for us right now about what you saw with the car parked at the lower level?
Yes.
You recall whether it had a hatchback or not?
I don't remember.
Now, let's go to car number 3, okay? There's a third car that you're talking about. Is that right?
Okay.
I'm asking you. Is that right?
Which one do you mean?
Talking about the third car that we haven't talked about yet, this white truck. You know, you're telling me about a white truck. Is that
Okay.
right?
Yes.
Okay. Tell the jury where you saw the white truck.
I'm supposed to say where it was like about, it was before you get to church, like at that curve before you come to church.
All right, so we've seen the diagram, and there's a road that comes in front of the church, right?
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about where you saw the white truck.
It would have been right there about just coming up to where it intersects there.
In front of the church?
No, intersects below the church.
Below the church, all right.
Like, it was still below the graveyard yet.
Can you tell us what your position was? Where were you when you saw that?
I was standing at the Ginreach home.
Were you
at the door?
Were you about to leave?
Yes.
So it would have been the same time frame.
Similar.
Around 8 o'clock. Is that accurate?
Probably. I mean, I don't recall the time frame.
Not much time between when you saw that vehicle and when you saw the others. Is that right?
There would have been maybe about 5 minutes time in between.
So after, well, let me be clear. So in your mind, the vehicle that you saw that when you were at the Gingrich house was different than the vehicle you saw at the church at the lower level. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And the car that went by the church was, went by the Gingrich house, you described as a white color
Yes.
truck.
Yes.
You were asked whether you know Sam Kuhn or not. Do you know a Sam Kuhn?
Yes.
You did not know what kind of vehicle he drove at the time?
I think he usually drove a van, but I don't know.
You don't know. All right. So was the white colored vehicle that you saw familiar to you?
No.
And did that raise a question in your mind as to why there would be a strange white colored vehicle? Did you say speeding by, or was it going a normal speed?
It was a normal speed.
Normal speed at that time of night.
What was it?
Usual.
I don't know, because it's people come on the compound and go off different times.
Same question about a car parked at the church, a car that you didn't recognize parked at the church. Was that unusual?
No, because it was a Saturday night and people will come to church.
Right. So are there regular church services conducted on a Saturday night at the Mennonite facility in Farmington?
No.
What do you mean by that?
We would be preparing for the next day. And they were just gathering, people can gather things for the next day.
Did you recognize the driver, or did you see a driver of the white pickup truck as you've described it?
No.
And did you get a look at anybody inside the other vehicle parked at the church at the lower level?
No.
Do you know an individual named Elvin Stossful? I may be pronouncing that right. Stoltzful, Elvin.
I know. How did you say the name again?
I would pronounce it Stoltzful, F-U-L, Stoltzful.
I don't know any Stoltzful.
You know anybody named Elvin that's a member of the community or resides at or near the community on or about October 18, 2020?
I know of an Elvin that lives there, but I don't know if he was there or not.
How do you know Elvin?
He would be there on that, right off the compound there.
He lives there?
Yes,
Is he a member of the community?
yes,
You've known him for how long?
since I've been there.
Did you have any conversation with Elvin after January 18th, 2020? Did you have any conversation about Elvin and whether he saw anything that night?
No.
If I can have one more moment, Your Honor. When you talk to law enforcement, and you told them that you saw a vehicle at the church at the lower level, do you remember describing whether you saw any person at all?
I don't recall.
Permission to approach with Exhibit 17, please.
All right. And Mr. Barker, you're aware of the exhibit?
I believe it's a state's exhibit, that's fine.
Okay. Yes, you may approach the witness.
I'd ask you to just take a look at this in total and review it and see if that matches up with the transcript you were previously provided with your interview regarding your interview with law enforcement.
Well, I have to go to Tammy, because Tammy, I've been watching you as this witness has been, answering questions under cross-examination. It's supposedly a bombshell witness for the prosecution to establish that maybe the defendant's car was there in one of the suspicious vehicles, but is that really the case? What are you taking away from her on cross?
Jesse, this witness is a mess. I'm curious as to whether she prepped. A lot of her responses are, I don't know. Listen, I understand that being in a courtroom setting, anyone would be nervous. And I understand the nerves that this witness may have. However, the bombshell that they anticipated having, she is bombing. This is not a good look, and she is not anything here. I'm confused. Huh?
Well, maybe the jury is too, about whether or not that was really the defendant's car or somebody else. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll jump live. We'll see where this witness and court goes next. Stay with us.